Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quantum Leap Morning Leap Session for Thursday, October the 13th, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in this live go-to session to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking us out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There is no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. We do everything in the go-to live here in the morning, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the day. Before we do get going, please read through the disclaimer. Nobody from Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the news. We did have news at 8:30. It was kind of a snoozer. Unemployment claims came in at 246. This is the lowest they've been in 43 years, apparently, yet we did not get any reaction to the upside. Import prices came out at 0.1 as anticipated, and NHPI came in just slightly lower at 0.2% for Canada. 10:30 we have natural gas storage, and then 11 o'clock we've got crude, and then 1 o'clock we've got the 30-year bond auction, and that's about all the news we have. The big news is going to come tomorrow on the core retail sales and the PPI, and we've got a bunch of people speaking tomorrow with the University of Michigan sentiment. But we are in the beginning of earnings seasons, so we should keep an eye on earnings as well. Taking a look at yesterday's trading, we were anticipating an inside day. We kind of got Hypo 2 playing out, and we chopped around and went sideways. Very balanced day, kind of somewhat summer-like trading, and it was a bit of a snoozer, but we were expecting the inside day after having that big trend day. Now, the key here, I think, is looking at the daily. We were looking for a move to break out of the symmetrical triangle. We did on the breakout day. Yesterday we had an inside day. Now, this set up for a FUBAR Mr. Sneaky, which failed overnight. And we had a big move overnight already. So they're starting, when you get a start of a downward trend, a lot of times it will signal, and then it'll start moving in the Globex. And basically we had a 17.5 point range in the Globex, which is one of the largest that we've seen as of late. But let's just take a step back and see where we are in the bigger trend. You can see that we are coming down and testing the 9 EMA. This is testing the trend on the monthly down to that CLVN at 2107. That's our key support below. So this is looking like the third month in a row. We've already got a 50.5 point range, for the month. Last month we had 89, and the month before we had 50. So we're setting up for a large month this month. Going to the weekly, you can see that this is the first time in a while that we've come back and got below the 9 and the 20. So we're seeing some weakness coming in. So on the weekly, and as we move down through the different time frames, you're seeing that we are seeing some weakness coming in, and the trend is being violated, and we could be in for a bigger trend change. Going to the daily, we looked at, we've broken the symmetrical. We do have slope and separation to the downside. I'm not saying that we're rolling over yet, but we're getting the hints that this is the start of a downward trend, and we're going to watch that key line in the sand at 2107, and below that, if we break the 2100, I think then we get to move down to the 2080 50 area. Going into the intraday, let me just get rid of this because we don't need this anymore. You can see that we, for the last 2 sessions in the RTH and 2 sessions in the Globex, we've had this downward trend. We've got good slope, good separation. The trend is very strong to the downside on the 4-hour. On the 1 hour, pretty much the same thing. We're getting into a bit of a consolidation, but we would expect this. Remember that our next big target below was the 2118 area, and we're kind of just chopping around in that area, but we do have slope and separation to the downside on the 1 hour. On the 30-minute, we had a very strong trend. They tried to take it back, and now they're back below the 9 and the 20 and getting a possibility of a continuation pattern if we stay below the 9 and the 20. I'd be watching that 1850 area very closely. On the 15-minute, you can see that we basically had the strong trend down, and then we've been in the sideways consolidation, but we're back below the 9 and the 20. Don't have real slope and separation yet. We do have a volume spike here, so I'm going to be watching closely as we come in and see how much of this we take back on the open. On the 5-minute, you can see we do have the downward trend still, and good slope, good separation. We're just coming up to test and close the little technical gap that we created there. So the overall trend in most of the time frames is consolidation or trending down. Going to look at the big picture, the structure. You can see that we had the breakout day, and we're coming down into this 29, which was our target, and we kind of tried to hold that, and then overnight we've closed. We're going to gap down, and we're going to have a gap day. So we've got gap rules that we can take into effect. As it stands right now, the low from the session yesterday was 26.25, and if we open up right around where we are at 21.17.25, we're going to have about a 9-point gap, and that has a very low probability of getting filled. I think it's like about 11%, I believe. I have to pull up my gap study, but it's very, very low percentage. We're at the near the bottom of the overall longer-term microcomposite, which has the low down here at 21.1050. I'm expecting that we'll probably, if we do not get back above the 21.50, then we're probably going to come down and test the 21.1050. More likely, we're going to come down into this 21.07. Remember that the significant breakout candle, which we have not come back and tested the 50%, the 21.19 and the 20.97. So the 50%, 21, sorry, I didn't pull this up earlier, 21.19 and low 20.97. So the 50% of the significant breakout candle is 21.08, and that is going to be our major target this morning, and coming down and testing that. We always look when we get back to the significant breakout candle, coming back and retracing to the 50%. Below the 21.07 is pretty much pretty thin until we get down right to the 20.98. And then now, once we get into that, we're into this profile here. And remember, we've got a naked close at 20.85.50, and then we've got the next big target below, which is the one we've been looking at the 20.80.50. If we do not hold that 20.98, I'm expecting a move down into this. Will we get it today? I doubt we'll see it today, but you never know what's possible. Currently trading 17. If we get above 21, then I'd be looking for a push up into testing and closing the range gap up at the 26.25, but that is low probability. So taking a look at the overnight, this move started with the news out of Asia, and we had this this big move down, and then basically after the move down, we've been consolidating sideways the rest of the evening, creating some kurtosis here around 19. So I'm expecting to get some rotation back up into the 19 area. The LVN above starts at 2150. So that's just above that CHVN. So if we get above the 2150, a bigger move up into the 22, and then possibly up into the low of the prior day, which is up at the 21, 26, 25. So taking a look at our overnight numbers. Our overnight low is 1350, but we have a half hour to go, and we're not too far away from it. So 1350 is our overnight low, just above the naked close. Our overnight high is all the way up at the 3150 where we closed yesterday. And then we have an LVN here at 2175. That is also the range low from the trend day. So that's the main target above right now. And our daily ATR is running 2203 off of the 2131.50. The downside daily ATR target is 2109.50. And off of the low 2113.25 so far. Our upside daily ATR target is up at 2135.25. Right now, 18 is our overnight, 18 is our CHVN, and just above that at 19 we have our overnight VPOC. I doubt that's going to shift, but it might. We could get a shift to the 18 depending on how much volume we put in, but right now I'm going to put it here. Then we've got the trade area up at 26.25 at the overnight high. I'm just putting these in quickly because I don't think that we're going to get there. But you never know. We could get a take back. And then our key support now becomes our key line in the sand. And then our key support is going to shift down into the 2100. And then below that, I'm targeting, I don't need this anymore, so I can get rid of this. Expand this out. 2098, and then we have a little bit of support at the 97, and then below that we've got a target at just want to look at this a little closer here, 89.50. I'm actually going to use the 90.25. 88.50 as a trade area, and then 83.50, and the next big target below is that 80.50. And then below that, we have 72.50. Just bringing some of these lower targets in. 66.50 is a trade area. And then once we get below 66.50, then we're in this distribution zone, and we'd be looking for a much bigger move down. I don't think we're going to get there, so I'm not going to bother with that today. So let's talk about hypotheses. We're going to open up with a major gap. So my main hypothesis is an open auction out of range, a move up, okay, half gap fill. I'm just going to eyeball this right now simply because of the fact that we still have time to go. It's going to be around 22, so right around here, and so this becomes a half gap fill. So my main hypothesis is an open auction out of range, a push-up failure somewhere in around the 22 area, and then a push down through the overnight low. I'm expecting the overnight low to get taken out, not the overnight high because of the percentage on the gap, and a push down to the 2109, chop around there, and then push down to the 2107, and then chop around there and then push through and test the 2100. I'm thinking we're probably going to test the 2100 today if we see continued weakness. Maybe a late day probe down into the 2098. The weekly ATR is 48, the 20 period weekly ATR. So the downside weekly ATR is 2115.50. We've already broken that. So we get below that, we're expanding beyond the 20 period weekly range, and I would expect more continuation. So hypo 1, open auction out of range, a move up, failure to close the gap, rotation down through to the 2109 area, taking out the overnight low, and then chop and then push through towards the 2100, maybe 98, with maybe a late day probe down into the 90 and a quarter area. Hypo 2 will be an open auction outer range, a push down, take out the overnight low, come down into the 2109 to 2107 area, find responsive buyers, and then start walking our way back up towards closing the gap and getting a rotational day below the gap zone, and basically chopping between the 15 and the 22 and going sideways. Hypo 3 is an open auction, out of range, a push up, close the gap, chop around at the 2126, and then push up into the overnight high and the naked VPOC and close somewhere inside of value inside of yesterday. Maybe a late day probe up into the 36 area and a trip through value. That's hypo 3. Open auction out of range, a push up into the 26.25, closing the range gap, and then pushing up into closing the naked close and coming back into value and chopping around up there. And then hypo 4 is an open drive or an open test drive, a push down into the 2100, and then failure at the 2100 and push through and getting a continuation trend day down into the 2085 to 2083 area. So it could be explosive, or we could just come into hypo 2 and just chop around in this area as we try to find a floor for a continuation pattern back up into the microcomposite and the MC VPOC up here at the 2153. I don't think we're done with the upside yet. Even if we dip down into the 2080s, I still think that we're going to work our way back up, but we've got weakness. We've got to be aware of that, and we've got to trade what we see, not what we believe. So just be cautious today. It's going to be, I think, wide rotations. I think we're going to see big rotations in regardless what happens as they fight to hold. The bulls are going to fight to hold the 2100s. The bears are going to try to push it and break that psychological number down there at the 2100s. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.